Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for coming in. Well, as you all know, you're all here because you'd like to work on improving your group dynamic. So, who wants to begin?
Well, Kylie, I think I speak for everyone in saying that we're here today because we've experienced some ups and downs working as a team thus far. I think that we're continuing to grow as a team and develop, and I think one of the key reasons we've had the success we've had is a result of the trust we've been able to develop with each other. And we've learned a lot about the different types of trust, whether that's affective trust or cognitive trust, trust based on competency, trust based on emotion. And I think that we've not been working together long enough to develop some of that competency-based trust, but thus far everyone's made a real effort to trust everyone at an emotional, affective level. Together we did a lifeline exercise where we shared a key moment of our life that shaped who we are today, and I think this did a lot to expand the public quadrant of the Johari model, so that we could all have a better understanding of where we're all coming from and what really shapes who we are and what we can contribute as members of the team.
Interesting. Well, have you all engaged in any other exercises that have helped you all establish this kind of trust?
Well, yes, let me tell you something that's been bothering me. We had this assignment where we had to replicate a Lego model with our team in a constrained amount of time, and I'm going to be frank, it didn't go so well. About halfway through, we had a pretty colossal failure where the Lego man was broken at a certain point.
But Jake, that was a chaotic environment.
You're right, that was a chaotic environment, and I don't think we had the right structure to respond to that chaotic environment. We tend to be a really egalitarian crew.
Right.
And what happens, given we're egalitarian, is there isn't a hierarchy and there's not a real subdivision of labor. It happens naturally.
Sure.
Coming from an education background, which is often a chaotic environment, I've seen the benefits of having structure in a workplace. And the chef Anthony Bourdain, he also works in a chaotic environment. And there, he set up a really, military type of operation where there's clear deliverables and accountability. And I think we could have benefited from that. For example, who had the back? No one had the back. And if we had someone assigned to that back portion of the Lego man, I think we could have been more effective.
Well, and like Jake said, division of labor was our initial and primary problem, but we also struggled with time management. As soon as Lego Man was dropped, we sort of lost all focus, and it took us a while to get over that setback. While we did, and that was an accomplishment in and of itself, we still have a long way to go to working on making sure we stay focused and maintain the primary goal in mind during our time together.
To that effect, we did this really interesting insights reports where we had to fill out these questionnaires through this online forum, which I found a little hokey personally, but then when we actually got the reports back, I found it to be a really useful tool to kind of map out where our different personalities fit within this team dynamic. It seemed like we had a lot of people kind of in the coordinator or inspirer or observer quadrants, but we didn't have anybody in this director area. And that seemed like a pretty big gap that we really need to be cognizant about filling. And going back to what a lot of the other folks have been saying about, we need some more work on time management, we need some more work on potentially adopting a more hierarchical approach. I think that using that insights tool is going to be really good in terms of figuring out how we can best utilize the personalities that we do have to do the most productive work going forward throughout the next year.
And to go back to an earlier point, I heard someone mention how an egalitarian structure was somewhat of a hindrance, and I'm wondering if maybe there's an example of something you all have done together where an egalitarian structure was actually somewhat of a benefit.
Yes, I think we did have some moments of success. We had a project which is hurricane in Caribbean.
You went to the Caribbean and didn't call me? I thought we were friends, girl. What? Oh, wait. I'm sorry, y'all. I did not mean to interrupt like that.
Yeah, and in this project, we need to survive in a hurricane in our team, and we need to select like 15 items in order for us to survive. And our team finally has scored 17, which is highest synergy score among all the teams, and I think it's a huge success for our team. And I think the synergy of the teams built from effective communication and also the culture of helping, because none of us in the team has any knowledge of how to survive in such an extreme environment, and we openly share our opinion and and so that all of us can freely know each other's view of all the possibilities and also the the strategy that we need to do in this situation. So we finally come to a conclusion that we're all satisfied. So I think open communication is the way that we're success in this situation.
Well, and like Michelle said, we have this culture of helping. We're sort of mirroring the IDEO culture that we studied this week, and we've been including that in building our social contract, our group norms. We worked very well together in utilizing our egalitarian strengths to come up with some strategies to keep time management, keeping the objective and goals always in mind, and making sure that we include everyone's voice and respond positively to feedback.
So it sounds like you all have put in a lot of work, but what does this all mean going forward for you as a group?
Yeah, so we definitely have a few steps where we can improve. So Nathan mentioned that we have an egalitarian structure where every one of us can openly say and we are all active listeners. But Jake also mentioned that we lack a hierarchy and which gives us inefficiency when during the execution process. So what we are thinking of is having a coordinator within our team for every project.
And so what is it that the coordinator actually does?
Well, I think the coordinator can help to smooth the whole process of the project. They can help to in time management and also the task allocation.
Yeah, so that's a really interesting point about rotating this leadership role and having all of us be a coordinator different times. Something that I really liked in one of the readings we did was this notion of extroverts versus introverts, and the fact that actually introverts can be really valuable from a leadership perspective. We're conditioned to think that people who take on that leadership role are always going to be those extroverts that want the attention placed on them. They like filling the room with their energy. But there are those of us who don't always just seek out that attention, but we actually have a lot of really valuable insights to offer from a leadership perspective, not just as a team member. So, as someone who considers themselves a bit of an introvert, I'm actually looking forward to working with that process and hopefully bringing some of this, what I would consider more reflective nature, into adding a lot of value to our team products going forward.
And beyond that, what else do you all think that you'll be doing differently as a group now?
Yeah, I guess there is another process which we can definitely improve. This is our planning process. We do not plan in a structured manner, which leads to a lot of loss of valuable time. So what we are planning to do is to have a visual based approach where we will use a lot of whiteboard. We will list down the objectives of each of our project, what inputs we have, what are the final deliverables, and also what we plan to learn from this project as a whole. So this will help keep the whole team focused on the task and help to reduce the wastage of time.
Wow.
Other thing which we realized in our insights profile was that our team has a generic approach towards building consensus. While consensus building is good for the team and developing team trust, however, the team is vulnerable to the problem of groupthink.
And to that point, I think it would help us a lot if we instilled program conflict into our planning process. And through the readings over the past week, there are two ways which I think we can do this. One being the dialectic method, which we have our hypothesis and a counter-hypothesis, and we debate over those two hypotheses. The other being the devil advocate model, in which we have one person, a critic, kind of punching holes in our main ideas, which enables us to really flesh out and develop those ideas further.
You guys have obviously done an immense amount of work outside of here. I'm really proud of you guys, and you're reaping the benefits of all that you've done. While we're on the topic of benefits, there is the lingering issue of these outdo therapy pills.
I don't think so.